What is it about villains? Why are we so attracted to them? We know there are lots of actors who love to play villains. Writers love to intricately craft their darker characters, while most of their heroes are only two-dimensional. What is the origin of our relationship with villains? Why are there those whom we love to hate? Many psychologists believe that we are attracted to villains because they represent our desire for freedom and lack of authority. But those ideas go against other notions of psychology which claim that while we often resent authority, we actually rely on it every day for our continuing existence. We have a love-hate relationship with authority, just like we do our villains. Some believe that villains are necessary in order to facilitate good heroes and heroines. As a literary tool, villains are what gives our heroes something to do. Our heroes would be nothing without them, they claim. But I wonder if there's another idea at play. Because quite often the villains in our stories serve as catalysts for positive change and growth. We tell ourselves that type of story more often than any other. The formula is basic. Life exists as a status quo, which means to say that it functions, but not necessarily all that well, only to have the apple cart upset by an outside source with a dastardly agenda, then to be successfully rallied against by a unified community. In the end, the defeated villain slinks off once its purpose has been served, leaving behind a greater unity in its wake. It sounds kind of like a virus that leaves behind immunity after the healing. We might have preferred never to have been sick at all, but we know for a fact we are stronger now because of it. Are we at all attracted to the villains because we, on some level, understand and perhaps even appreciate the capacity of the change they are about to inspire in us? It's okay to have a love-hate relationship with change, but we still ask for it nonetheless. Might we look at the catalyst differently? An ancient document from the 3rd century entitled The Gospel of Judas was found in Egypt in the 1970s, but not protected or translated for another 30 years. The National Geographic Society published a translation in 2006. For those of you who don't know or remember, Judas was the infamous disciple who betrayed Jesus to the Sanhedrin priests, setting in motion the events that led to Jesus' crucifixion. As the traditional biblical version tells us, Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver and later hanged himself with guilt. Throughout the centuries, the name Judas has been synonymous with betrayal, evil, and shame. But the ancient yet newly discovered Gospel of Judas tells the story a very different way. Now, for the record, I am not here to authenticate the Gospel of Judas. I'm not going to attempt to validate that text as either truth or fiction. Like the Bible, it is whatever it is, provable or not. These are texts which we may look to for inspiration or food for thought. They are historical reports and open to interpretation as your own faith dictates. I've chosen to discuss this text because it turns on its ear the long-held notion that Judas was evil for what he did. We can too easily dismiss him for being evil and then fail to see ourselves in him. The Gospel of Judas makes the suggestion that Judas was, in fact, Jesus' favorite disciple and the only one with whom he shared the real truth about the purpose of life and humanity. In the text, Jesus tells Judas about the creation of Adam. He tells him about the cosmos, chaos, the underworld, and those who rule it. He teaches him about the creation of humanity and the destruction of the wicked. He also tells him of the crucifixion to come and the greater necessity of it. So when it came time, according to the story, Jesus instructed Judas to betray him, that he might bring about a greater purpose through his actions. He told Judas that he would be hated for his act of betrayal, and that he too would suffer. But also that he would exceed all of them, because Judas would sacrifice the physical body which clothed him. Conversely, Matthew, Mark, and Luke tell us that Judas was acting on his own selfish behalf in turning Jesus over to the authorities. They claim it to be an act of greed and resentment. They claim Satan had entered him. But the Gnostic Gospel of Judas tells a story about a favored disciple who reluctantly accepts the role of betrayer at his master's request. Now, you may believe what you will about it. The point here is not the truth or lack of truth in the story. It's the suggestion that things may not always be as clear-cut as they seem. So what might we do with this story? I lift it up for one reason. I ask it to examine for us the disparity between our understanding of hardship and the blessings of challenge and disappointment. Christian culture has reviled Judas for 2,000 years, while it has also acknowledged its belief that it was all part of a big cosmic plan. It contradicts itself in its choice to vilify Judas when, according to all stories, Judas is the one who put God's plan in motion. With or without the Gospel of Judas, shouldn't we wonder why we are vilifying him for being the catalyst to something that the Bible itself claims to be a good and necessary thing? Like a lot of people, I'm tempted to resent the deeper challenges of my life as well as those who supposedly caused them. I'm tempted to be angry for what happened and to blame all those who made it happen. We live in a society that sues first and asks questions later. We imprison people based on a sense of revenge and call it justice, rather than make an assumption that things happen for reasons which need looking at. Sometimes those reasons are because we have let a problem get out of hand rather than deal with it. Everyone is still responsible for their own actions, but we push mental illness under the rug and then shout foul when someone acts out in that untreated, uncared-for state. And there are other times it's through no fault of our own that bad things happen, but then we live in a space of anger, hostility, and vengeance. What will that get us? If you are a person who believes in the will of God, or that things happen for a reason, or that some good might very well come from difficulty if only we can choose to see it that way, then Judas the betrayer should become something more. What are the Judas moments in your life? Who are the Judases in your life? When something challenging happens to you, how do you react to it? Who or what is your authority? Is God your authority? Love? Is justice? The Bible? Who or what tells you how to react to life's challenges? Because I have a suggestion about that. Let love be your authority. Hold your solutions to life challenges up to a yardstick of love and see how they measure up. Hold a challenge in your lap and love it right where it is and see what love tells you to do with it. Don't punch it. Don't reject it. Don't strangle it. Caress it and see what happens. Consider that life itself might be a trick question. Be open to the possibility that if life's challenges have served you well, even if on only one single occasion, it might just happen again. When you despair and don't know where to turn, give thanks for the solution that is already out there somewhere, waiting for you to discover it like a soul mate you just haven't met yet. That solution is out there, walking the earth, knowing the sun and the air, waiting to meet you. Be open to thinking differently about the world and what has made it the way that it is. Be open to what it may yet become because of the challenges it's seen. And be open to what it might be that saves us all from ourselves. Be at ease now and breathe. Consider for a moment the breath. Consider the coolness of the air going in and the warmth of it going out. Consider what is in the air you're breathing right now.
Think of the oxygen and nitrogen giving us life and combining with other elements to form the building blocks of our survival. Consider also the pollution we breathe at the same time. Think upon the power it has to destroy and cause dis-ease. Bring your awareness to the damage it does to our tissue and our genes, our DNA, and breathe. This is the point of choice. This is the point where we decide upon the relationship we shall have with that which challenges us and makes us afraid. We must choose wisely, mindfully. If the basis of our relationship with the toxins we breathe every day with every breath is fear, that will compound its destructiveness within us. But if we choose to see the villain as the catalyst, our relationship shifts toward aligning with the higher purpose hidden inside the fear. There is a message inside this bottle. Do not fail to heed it. And breathe. Imagine now sitting angrily on your lap, a dark swirling cloud no larger than the size of a basketball. Small bursts of lightning flash from within and grumbles of frustrated thunder. It causes you no harm to sit with it like this. You are far too powerful to be affected by it. But you know the damage it can do when assisted by our fear of it. Our fear takes the small, angry orb and fills it with the power of overt destruction. It listens to our fear and responds to it. It takes our fear as the instruction it is seeking for its greater purpose. When still small in our laps, it is vulnerable to suggestion. It is willing to take any instruction we give it. It is programmed to follow our lead. Where shall you choose to lead it? And breathe. In your mind's eye, lovingly wrap your arms around this ball. Comfort it. Appease it. Seek to calm it down. It doesn't understand its feelings. It doesn't know from where its frustration and anger originates. It doesn't know why it feels the way it does. It, like you, wishes only to feel better and looks for the easiest way to achieve it. It seeks your guidance. Guide it and breathe. As you comfort the dark sphere, its clouds begin to lighten a little. The already weak thunder and lightning has easily subsided. It didn't amount to much yet anyway. You perceive it is listening to you. Calm enough now to openly receive your instruction, your intention. Consider for a moment what you will give to it, and breathe. Pray for its ease. Wish for its peace. Give it permission to reveal its higher purpose to you. The swirl of light gray clouds begins to slowly melt away, like cotton candy in the rain. You continue to infuse it with encouragement and hope. It melts away even faster, suddenly revealing the outline of a small square shape, a box. You know it is for you. You know that only you will be able to open it. You are already certain, before even laying a finger upon it, that inside will be the answer. Inside this box is your purpose for dark times. Only you will understand it. And that understanding will continue to unfold and reveal itself in new and mysterious ways from this point forward, surprising you constantly and with wonder. The cloud is entirely gone now. The box is fully revealed. You have passed the test and may open it now. Do so. Namaste.